Hello Ramen Nation, Chris Cobain here, bringing you another Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle. This is a weird situation. Now technically, in the grand scheme of things, this ends up being some sort of a sweep. But we'll get to that in a little bit. This is kind of weird. I'll give it that much. Anyway, we're gonna take a look at the team previews. This was a really good battle. In any case, I have Jolteon, Braviary, Empoleon, Scrafty, Florgs, and Weezing. Now, I may have used a Weezing in a YouTube video before. I don't know if I ever put him on one, but this isn't the same Weezing I used before. This is a pretty random team. Empoleon I don't use too often. You've seen Scrafty on my mono fighting team, but I've never actually used him on a regular team, so I wanted to see how he would work. And on the other side, we have an incredibly scary team. We've got Tyranitar, Metagross, the Charizard, the Gengar, the Sublime, and the Smogon Bird Talonflame. So the Mega automatically looks like Charizard. I mean, it could be Gengar, but I'm doubting it. It could be T-Tar, but I'm doubting it as well. Most likely, we're going to see the Mega Charizard here on this pretty heavy OU team. And right off the bat, I'm pretty scared. My lead is going to be Jolteon. Anytime I'm looking at a team that nothing is immune to electric, and in this case, nothing's even resistant to electric, that is definitely where I'm going with this team. I know right off the bat that Jolteon's going to be able to do some massive work if I can play him right. So that's who I'm going with. Turns out my opponent's going to lead out with Talonflame, which is a great lead. Now, I don't think a lot of people give this a lot of thought. The fact that Jolteon just flat outspeeds Talonflame in any case if he's max speed. So turn one I outspeed, I'm going to hit the Volt Switch, and I'm going to massacre Talonflame. The only way Talonflame's going to ever outspeed is if he's using Brave Bird. Even if he's max speed, my Jolteon is as well. It's just better base speed. I win that matchup. He could have Flare Blitzed. He could have U-turned. I don't know what he did, but in any case, it didn't matter. He's done. So I'm going to bring in my Scarf Braviary. I know that's my best lead. I can U-turn out if I don't like the matchup, but I love the matchup. So I'm going to Brave Bird right off the bat, and I'm going to smack this Gengar. Looking good for me until the Focus Sash, which sucked. You know, because obviously he's predicting, I was assuming Thunderbolt. Obviously he's bringing him in thinking he's going to outspeed, hit me with Thunderbolt, kill me. Not seeing the Scarf coming up, but unfortunately he is Sashed, which sucks, and I'm going to lose Braviary. I was all kinds of happy when I saw Gengar come out, but oh well. So back in comes Jolteon, Volt Switch again, no point in not doing so. And I'm going to take out Gengar. So right off the bat, we're 3 turns in, 3 Pokemon are down, and it's a quick start. So again, I have to pick something to bring in. My choice is going to be Weezing. Now he brings out Sublime. My first thought for when he brought out Sublime was actually Charizard X. Because if it was Y, there'd be no reason really, because you could just Mega and one-shot my face with Flamethrower, and I don't have really a lot to switch into. But in any case, he goes for the Confuse Ray. Through some incredible RNGesus moment, I break through Confusion and hit Will-O-Wisp in 1 turn. I don't think I'm ever that lucky, but I'll take it. So at this point, I'm going to switch out. I don't want to stay confused. I don't know what he's going to do. I'm thinking possibly knockoff or something. I'm going to bring in Bouquet. Obviously, I can hit this thing with Moonblast, but turns out he double switches into Metagross, which sucks, obviously. So I can't do crap to this. So I'm forced right back out. Now, I bring in Scrafty here. Weezing is scared of that Zen Headbutt. I was kind of hoping he'd go for the Zen Headbutt, predicting me maybe to switch into Weezing, but nah, he just goes straight for the Meteor Mash. The better play there was honestly Zen Headbutt outside of the Scrafty there, but I'll take it either way. It doesn't do a crap load, so I'm good with that. So he's actually going to switch. Now, he switches into Charizard here. I don't know if he was predicting fighting. But even if you would switch into Sublime, so I'm not sure what the case was switching into this. Maybe best to take both hits or something. I have no idea. Either way, I'm going to hit Charizard pretty hard considering that I'm not invested in attack at all. And I get the defense drop, which is great news. So at this point, I'm kind of hoping he's going X. You know, maybe he Dragon Dances and I can crunch him and take him down low, but unfortunately, he's Y, and I knew that's game for Scrafty. He's going to Air Slash, and that's going to completely obliterate me. So, that's alright. I mean, if I'm going to lose kind of a gimmicky Scrafty set to tell which Charizard it is, that's fine. So now I can bring in Jolteon. Obviously, I'm going to have that super effective damage. Now I know he's not Charizard X. He doesn't resist electric, so now I'm in all kinds of good positions. So, again, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fire off that Volt Switch real quick, you know, to figure out, you know, get damage on whatever he brings in here. So, he does bring out the Metagross. I'm going to do a solid half. Now, if I went for, like, Shadow Ball, I might have killed him, but there's no use. You know, Tyranitar's still in the field, so Volt Switch by far my best play there. Now, I could bring in Weezing, but again, I'm really scared of that Zen Headbutt. So what I actually did here was hoped that I could tank an Earthquake on Club Duck and hit him with Scald. I do tank it very badly, and I am going to do... I would have killed him without the Sun, but I do a decent enough chunk of damage there to where I'm very happy with it. So even if I would have died to the Earthquake, I knew I could bring in Jolteon again and Volt Switch. So as you can see, I'm really leaning on Jolteon in this entire battle. So... And yet again, I'm leaning on him here. I'm going to bring him right back in. This guy has no answers to Volt Switch. And I'm just going to take out the Metagross as well. So basically every time this guy gets a kill, I get Jolteon in there for some easy damage. And I've done nothing but Volt Switch on this guy to kill all 3 of his Pokemon. So now I'm going to bring in Forgs with all 3 Pokemon left. I know this is his best option. Obviously Special Attacker Charizard supplies weak to Fairy as is Tyranitar. So... you know, best option all around. Even my other option was Weezing, which would have been delivery of a Charizard. So Charizard is a freaking powerhouse. I think this was a modest set, honestly. It did a little more than it usually does, so I think it must have been a modest set or something. I don't know either way, though. So the most I can do is just fire Moonblast at him. I can't switch into Weezing, he get 1 hit. I can't switch into Jolteon, he get 1 hit, so... Charizard just that powerful. There's not a whole lot I can do. I could have wish stalled him if I really wanted to. Obviously I have that ability to where I can stall out the Sun. But I didn't really feel like I needed Fords a lot. I felt like that I could win just leaning on Jolteon like I have been. So instead of doing that, I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to get what damage off I can. And then I'm going to let myself go down to the Flamethrower, which is, it's fine. No worries. So... again, back into Jolteon here. Now, I could have gone for Thunderbolt, but I know that Tyranitar's still lurking in the back, and Tyranitar obviously has a lot of special bulk. So, instead of going for the Thunderbolt, instead, I'm just going to Volt Switch again. I think it's like the 5th time I've even Volt Switched in this battle. It's all Jolteon's been doing. Just coming in, wreaking havoc. When you don't have an answer to Jolteon, he becomes a huge powerhouse. The only problem with is that there's so many things that can stop him. But, either way, Volt Switch there. Only choice is Weezing. That's completely fine for me. There's not much you can do unless he's like a special set or some crap. So, I know turn 1 that I can just go ahead and I can Will-O-Wisp this guy and, you know, completely obliterate his whole moveset. So, that's what ends up happening. He goes for Stone Edge. He gets a pretty decent chunk of damage off there, but, you know, it's over. His chunks of damage are over. The thing with Weezing, he's got no recovery. I have Pain Split on this one, so there's that. But, you know, the burn's going to wear him down. The more damage I do with burn, the less Pain Split's going to matter. You know, that's the problem with Pain Split, especially on a Pokemon like Weezing, whose HP isn't really bad. It's much better on a Pokemon such as Dusclops, whose base HP is really bad. So, went for Clear Smog there for no particular reason. Flamethrower's not going to do anything either. It would at least hit neutral damage on Charizard. And hell, maybe he's a Dragon Dance set. I don't know. And it was a better option. They're neither going to do anything. So the only other move I have is Pain Split. And at that point, it would have healed him. So, you know. So he's going to keep firing off the Stone Edges here as I go for Pain Split that time, knowing that after Stone Edge that I could at least heal a little bit of HP here. So there's that. But outside of that, you know, there's not much I'm going to do this. The burn's just really going to have to end up being what does him in. Fortunately, this is around the end of the battle, so I can afford this. You know, I couldn't really afford to have Weezing get smashed just to take out a Tyranitar if he had another physical threat on the field. So he ends up bringing in Charizard here. Now, I feel like he could have done that earlier, honestly, but he never decided to. Maybe for fear that I'd switch myself, you know, because after a burn, Jolteon probably could have lived a Stone Edge if he didn't crit or something like that. So maybe just for nothing else, just to fear Jolteon double switching in. He stayed in until then and then felt confident enough to make the switch into Charizard, and obviously I'm just going to let Weezing go. And that makes it a 3-on-1 with the MVP of the game so far. That's Jolteon. Now, this play, he's going to switch into Sublime. Now, in all fairness, I never did reveal Thunderbolt. I don't know why I wouldn't be carrying it, but in all fairness, I had not Thunderbolted yet. Every turn I Volt Switched, and Volt Switched again, and Volt Switched again, so maybe he didn't think Thunderbolt. I don't know. So Specs Thunderbolt's going to obliterate the supply there. He could have saved it, you know, sack Charizard and then Confuse raid me with Prankster and then relied on hacks. But either he thought he could live a Thunderbolt or he didn't know I carried it. Either way, I get the kill, and that's basically done and done there. Tyranitar is at way too low HP to tank it, even as good as a special wall that he is. And his last Pokemon, obviously, is the Charizard with no HP left and couldn't live a Thunderbolt for max HP and probably couldn't live a Specs Thunderbolt if he had twice his amount of HP. But either way, he's done, and that's the game. This is a weird, like I said at the beginning, this is a weird one. It is a sweep. If you look back, in case you missed it, I Volt Switch killed Talonflame, Volt Switch killed Gengar, and then did it to Metagross after Empoleon died. Then at the end, you know, Sublime, T-Tar, and Zard Y all down to Thunderbolt. So this and all, you know, for real, it's just a Jolteon sweep. And it's a 1-0 one, so not only is it a sweep, it's a really good battle. So 1-0 is always a fun matchup, and to get it in excuse me, to get it in such an interesting way was just really cool to me. But does this count? I would assume this counts as a sweep. I mean, it is a six kills with Jolteon, so technically, but I more think of a sweep as, you know, a 6-0 domination. But either way, I'll take the win, especially with such a good game like that. So obviously, that is it for the battle, you guys. Thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch the video. I do appreciate that. If you guys enjoyed the battle, make sure you hit that like button at the bottom of the screen. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you have not done so yet. And if you have not had a chance to check out my live stream, make sure you do so at twitch.tv/xChrisGoodman. I'll put a link in the description below. It's a really fun time. I hope to see you guys there at some point if you ever get a chance. But that is it for me, you guys. So I will see you guys in the next video.